Hey everyone, CyberGamer814 here. Another episode of the Modpack Seaopolis, and today we are going to be getting some storage in. We're going to be getting some passive resource gen. Let's go check it out. Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 2 of the Seaopolis Modpack. I definitely want to get going on some stuff. I want to get those strainers made so we can go ahead and get these resources being produced. I'd like to go ahead and get storage drawers started so we can get a little organized and have more space to store things. Upgrade our tools and tinkers. I'd really like to get through some of the teching up, get the better sieve, and that'll let us get into ceramics. And once we get to this block breaker, that's when we actually get to start some automation, get some resources producing. But that's the plan for today. We're going to start with the strainer. I've already gotten together the resources. I'll go ahead and click into, I'm going to make 2 of them, one for each of the strainers. We can make survivalist strainer, fix the string mesh, and bam. And then we have the fisherman strainer. Now the thing with the fisherman strainer is it does require bait, and you can actually take silkworms and convert them into the bait worms in your inventory. So probably they do have to be in a solid water block above the main base. You'll see why in a minute. We're going to put them down there temporarily, and then once we get it cleaned up and start working on the base, we'll definitely find a new location for them. Where did I put my glass? There we go. The little box that pops up around your crosshairs lets you place a block under the block you're looking at. So I can place that there. And then place my strainer. I can put it in my hand. There we go. And one more piece of glass here. There we go. Now you can either hold it in your hand and right click it on there, or it does have its own GUI and you can just manually put it in there, or shift click. There we go, and that'll get that started. So while those resources, epic fail. So while those resources produce, I'm going to go ahead and start making some smooth stone. We've been making some charcoal. So once that's finished, we'll go ahead and stick our stone up there, and that way you can cook the smooth stone once the charcoal's done cooking. And smooth stone, once you crush it, it actually turns into gravel, and that'll actually be able to sieve to allow us to get flint, dust, and then we can start getting into clay. So I'm going to get that stuff going. These resources, most of them will be producing on their own, sponges, leather, through the strainers. And I'll get some storage drawers going and start kind of separating out our stuff, and I'll be back. I did go ahead and get the storage drawer set up. I started storing some stuff. Use the dark oak. Probably going to be changing that. This pack does have the frame drawers. And that's what this quest is right here. So you can actually texture the drawers to make them whatever color you feel like making them. And been gathering up some resources. Got some extra cobble and stuff. Got some stone. Smooth stone made. I did go ahead and finish up the Tinker quest line. So now that's all complete. We started all of this. Got the stone barrel, which we'll use to make lava. You can stick any kind of stone in there. The crushed gravel, diorite, and andesite will give you better rates. I think that's been modified in the pack itself. Started this Tinker's. Gonna be working on ceramics. I did want to kind of wait to collect this last one, the clay, and that's what these barrels were for. So you take the dust, and 4 of them make a dust block, and then you can stick the dust block, and it'll mix with the water and make clay. Now we're going to break this down. And then we can mix the clay and get our porcelain clay. This is how we're actually going to start with our clay buckets, because they force you to make porcelain clay instead of using regular clay. Which is no big deal. They make it pretty easy to make porcelain clay. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves 4 buckets. This will be how we'll be able to actually collect the lava. We can make the unfired crucible. I definitely got the unfired crucible and the stone barrel mixed up. The unfired crucible is how we're going to be making lava. That is made using the stone barrel. Go ahead and make ourselves one. Cook it up in the furnace to harden it. Go ahead and stick the buckets in there so they can cook up afterwards. Now there's different heat sources we can use for the fired crucible. The lowest being a torch, the highest being a uranium block. We don't have access to that yet. We do have access to sea lanterns, which the pack gave us right there in the background. So I'm going to kind of use those for now until we actually get our lava going, and then we'll make our copper. Go ahead and crush down a stack of granite. We're also going to need the lava bucket here pretty soon to make the block breaker. And this is how we're going to actually automate getting cobblestone and smooth stone and stuff like that, and getting those resources. Because right now I'm having to use leaves to make the dirt, take the dirt over here in the seas, and then sieve up the dirt. And that's my only source of getting stone right now, until we get the block breaker itself. Normally the block breaker from Industrial Foregoing needs power, but in this pack it can run slower than normal, but it can still run without power. The blast furnace is also next, and that's another thing that's locked in the pack as far as crafting recipes. Glass is one of them that you have to use the blast furnace to make glass. You can't just use a regular furnace. And then get down to here. So I'm gonna get some more stuff together. I'll probably sieve up some more gravel. Sieving the gravel is what's actually giving us our dust. That jump is tricky, I guess. Sieving gravel with flint mesh gives us the tiny charcoal, sulfur, fluorite, and the flint. Oh, and real quick before I get into that, and by the way, I've got the crushed granite going ahead and making our lava for us. But I also wanted to go ahead and show what all we're getting. So this was the one that had the regular strainer, and we got some saddles, which you can actually cut down. Actually, I'll show you that. We got leather, string, ink sacs. There's quite a bit of materials that we got that we'll be able to use early on. And then over here, from the fisherman's strainer, we just got fish. It'll be used. Actually, go ahead and grab that too. Okay. These we can actually craft the water breathing potions, which actually give you 3 minutes of water breathing instead of the 25 seconds for the water bowl. So 4 of these will give you 100 seconds. Got a little over a minute and a half, so definitely worth it. It just takes fish. We'll go ahead and make a few of these. Definitely going to be needed when we start building. Oh, and the saddle. So for the saddle, hit U on the keyboard, you'll see this cutting board that you can use. It with shears, any type of shears. Pretty cheap to make. We're going to throw it on the ground right there. Make some shears. Well, that's weird. It just linked up to the cutting board. I don't want you to cutting board's inventory. Okay, so we got some shears. So take the saddle, you right click it onto the cutting board, and then you right click it with the shears, and you'll get iron nuggets. You save up enough of the iron nuggets, you'll eventually be able to make an iron bucket, more than likely before you're actually able to get iron. So the next thing we can do is make the backpack. Thank you. Now we have a backpack. Good size, especially starting off early, 3 rows. So that'll definitely help for sure with the inventory management. Actually be able to go ahead and store. I'll worry about that later. I was gonna put my coins in there, but not really needed. Let's go ahead and clear all this out. I don't need any of that up there. Oh, if I have enough. So, paper, you don't just need sugarcane. You can actually use the sawdust from crushing logs with the hammer. We get some logs. Right in my face. So sawdust, you can make paper. Paper, we can get ourselves books. The reason why I'm trying to make that is the Akashic Tomb is actually a very useful book, in that it actually lets you store your books all in one. Book and bookshelf, we have the Akashic Tomb. So right now, doesn't have anything in it. Actually, I have a book. I can show you how it works. So we have the materials in U-book. Take it in your inventory and you put both of them in there. Still says Akashic Tomb, but now when I open it, I can select the Tinker's Construct book and it actually transforms into the Tinker's Construct book. So I'll be able to read it. And you'll be able to store multiples and you just left click in the air and that will change it back. Very cool. Very useful. Not every pack will have those, but I do enjoy it when they do. That away, I'll go ahead and put my water breathing potions in my backpack too. Just make sure they're on hand in case we need them. Some backup food too. My mistake on the barrel earlier, you use lava in the barrel to make stuff. So in this pack, to make red sand, you stick a bucket of lava in the barrel. And when you right click dust with it, it turns it into red sand. You can right click the barrel again to get the red sand out. Also, I don't know how many times I've done that. Also, you can drop red sand in the water and you'll get regular sand. Now I have already set this up. So with this pack, there's 2 kinds of water and lava cobble gen. Or there's multiple kinds, but if you have sandstone and lava and water meet, you'll get sand and red sand. If you have compressed smooth stone, you will get smooth stone, cobblestone, and gravel. And if you get nothing under there, just a regular block or open air, you will get the granite, andesite, diorite, like that. So we got gravel, we got some andesite, and we got sand. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using the waterlogged stairs to count as my water, just to kind of help keep it compact. Yes, this looks horrible. I'm just trying to get some resource going because I do have an idea for the base. So I have been thinking on it. But I'd like to get some of the resources going that I need for it, like gravel and sand and some of the other things. But I wanted to kind of show y'all the different types of cobble gen that you can make in this pack. So we'll take the block breakers. Now they will face whatever block you're looking at. So I tend to just make sure I'm staring down at them, place them, and they will automatically start breaking. And like I said, they don't need power in this pack, but they do work faster once you do end up producing power and plug them in. But as you can see, they have their own inventory. So we're getting andesite, cobblestone, flint, gravel, probably some smooth stone, and then sand and red sand. So all that stuff will start coming in. We'll be able to start filling up our drawers. and we'll be able to get a bunch of resources in. So I'll AFK for a little bit, gather up some stuff. Um, I do want to get to working on the base. Might work on a little something in between episodes, but not really sure. It kind of depends on where we're at. I did make the blast furnaces. I went ahead and put 2 and automated them. Again, super temporary, but I wanted to kind of keep my automation stuff kind of together. But this is pretty much done. Didn't register that I made compressed smooth stone, so we'll go ahead and make another one. No big deal. We'll be crushing it later, so. Later on, we'll shoot for hammering the compressed variants of the blocks. It'll just produce, it doesn't produce extra resources, but it does save the time in producing the amount of resources that it would normally produce. I don't believe there's any actual loss between breaking the compressed variants of gravel, sand, and netherrack, all that good stuff later on. Sieving the compressed variants. I don't believe there's any resource loss, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyhow, moving on from too long explanations. Now we can make the clay shears. Now that we have porcelain clay, those are mostly just going to be useful because they'll have more durability than the wooden ones. I'll get more use out of it. Go ahead. Oh, no, that's awkward. Doesn't work in the blast furnace. That'll cook those up. Kind of like that. Takes that. And then a piece of glass. And I've already been gathering up resources, so we've got quite a bit of gravel and sand in there. 600 sand, a couple hundred gravels, 1,000 smooth stone, cobblestone. Tinkers is next. I really wanted to get that resource gen going to start getting parts together for a base. That way we can go ahead and get started on that. I'll go ahead and start working on the base in between episodes. I'm not really gonna have anything to finish, but I'll start the next episode with some progress made, getting us a nice area to be in. And that's it for that quest line. Oh. Wish I could count how many times I've fallen. I think that's where we're going to wrap it up for this one. Made a little bit of progress in the pack. We got some passive resource gen. We got our blast furnaces. I do want to try and gather up some resources, AFK a little bit, let those block breakers gather up some stuff for us. I want to try and get more of an outline of the base. That way, next episode, we can go ahead and get started setting up an area for tinkers and setting up some more rooms for different stuff. So we can kind of reduce the clutteredness we got going on. But if you like the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up for me. And if you want to check out the next episode, you can hit that subscribe button and click the bell so that way you get the notification when it comes out. We do have a Discord. I'll have the link down there in the description below. If you have any tips, any tricks, any advice you'd like to give, just please leave it down in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts. And you have a great one. Bye.